welcome to Task Talk. So tonight I have the pleasure to introduce two brothers that have been on this journey in Red Barn. So this first one, he's a great leader, leads by example, and he's intern manager. He's going on a third year, and let's give a round of applause for Jake.
Now, this is more nervous than speaking in the jail today, I'll tell you that. So my name is Jake Lawrence Gentry. I was born on November 21st, 1995. And I was born here in West Valley, Utah. And I was raised here for a little bit till I was about 4, until my father passed away. After that, we moved to Vegas, and that's where I was really raised until most of my adolescence and a little bit into my teenage years. My childhood was a lot different than most others. You know, we didn't sit at a family table. We didn't have family dinners. My mom wasn't really home a lot. And my sister was the one to really be my caretaker, I guess you'd call it, but she wasn't very much of a caretaker, I guess you'd say. My childhood was very eventful. I went through a lot of things that a child shouldn't, and I learned things at a young age that people don't learn until later on in their life. Fast forward a little bit, when we moved back here from Vegas, we moved back from Vegas to Utah in West Valley again. My mom got reunited with another old friend, and that eventually became my stepfather. When my stepfather came around, my life started to change a little bit for the better. I got into sports. I started wrestling. I started doing football, things of that sort. It didn't last very long. My stepdad was only in my life, unfortunately, for a little bit of time, until he also committed suicide and passed away as well. After that, that's when my life really started to take the turn for the worst. I never really had any good role models in my life. All my siblings and people that I chose to be around were not very good people to be around at my age, I guess you'd say. I started doing crime and criminal acts and drugs at a very, very young age after my stepfather had died, probably around 13 and 14 years old. And that's the way I thought was the way to live, because I was around it for so long with my sister's boyfriends. Those were the people I had looked up to my entire life, was these guys that were in gangs, you know, doing stupid crimes. You know, and I thought that was the way to be. I looked up to that. I thought that was cool. That I had no other really positive role model in my life from there. I graduated high school, honestly, because of the girl I was with at the time. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have graduated high school. School just wasn't my thing. Learning, I always loved to learn, but the way school teaches, I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to learn the things I wanted to learn. I signed up for college, and that didn't end up working out. I ended up getting kicked out because I realized the way I got through high school, I couldn't get through college. That girl I was with, we broke up, and it just went separate ways. I decided to do other things in my life. Later on down the road, I got into heavier drugs and different kind of crime, things that were I don't know how to say it, but things that most people don't do. I'll just put it that way. You know, people look at the crimes that I was doing, and it's heinous. You know, people don't do that. Normal people don't do that, and I thought it was normal. I had grown up with it all my life. What I was doing, I thought was a job. I don't know really how else to really say it without getting too crazy. I just, you know, I thought the way I was living, because it was the only way I knew, was the right way to live. I didn't really have much of a support system my entire life. You know, my mom was there, but she didn't really understand, because she had distanced herself from me because of my actions, and I don't blame her for doing that. So this last time that I got in trouble, that ended me up in Red Barn. You know, I was looking at quite a few different charges, and you know, prison was being talked about, and I didn't want to go to prison, and I wanted to do something different with my life. And my cellmate at the time had told me about Red Barn and told me all about it, the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. And so when I went to see my LDA later on that day, she asked me what my plan was, and I told her, you know what, I've never done a program before. And she did the evaluation, and she told me I could either 7th Street, the other side, and Red Barn would be pretty close to what I needed. And because my cellmate at the time had told me about Red Barn, I was like, you know what? Let's give Red Barn a shot. So she, without me knowing, actually emailed Kevin Real right then and there. And I went back to my cell, and 30 minutes later, I got another visit. And I went up there, and that was Kevin Real. Kevin Real told me, man, are you ready to do something different with your life? And, I was broken. Honestly, I was looking for a way out of jail. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I wasn't sure if I was going to stay. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I just knew that at that moment, I just knew I wanted to get out of jail. That plain and simple as that. He said, I'll be at your next court date. We'll go from there. My next court date came, and the judge denied it because I was waiting on drug court, because that's the route I was going to go before I knew about Red Barn. They denied it, and I told my attorney that I didn't want to do drug court anymore, so we pushed it out a few months. Eventually, they went with it, and Kevin Real came and picked me up, and here I am now, 19 months later down the road. When I first got to Red Barn, like I said earlier, man, it was just my get out of jail free card. I thought I'd just come here and fake it till I make it, get what I needed and then go. Unfortunately, as you guys know, that's not how Red Barn really works. You can't manipulate a manipulator. We're all liars. We're all thieves. We're all criminals. We're all drug addicts. That's why this program works so great, because we all know each other like ourselves, right? About 4 months into my program, I had what they call a paradigm shift. And this was just my first paradigm shift. And this was because I was going out on the moving company. I was beginning to be part of something bigger than myself. And honestly, that's when my program really started to take off. A lot of it has to do with Nicholas gaming me for playing small, Logan gaming me for playing small. And at the time, I was just like, screw these guys, man. I'm just here. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do my time, and I'm out of here. Well, later on in the program, when I got leadership for the first time, that was another paradigm shift of mine. That was when I actually seen that I could actually make an influence on other people's lives rather than my own. So I wasn't just looking in the mirror and liking the person I was seeing, but I could see that the people around me, the people that they were becoming because of my influence and some of the others leaders' influence in this house. And that was another big pivotal point in my program. That was when I think I really started to buy in. But that's even then I still was living dirty. As for some of you guys that don't know, I went on contract for a week for horseplay, contracting up. Me and another one of my good friends in the program thought it was a great idea to horse off on moves, squirrel tap each other, push each other around, talk crap about anyone and everyone, and just doing things that people did on the street for cheap connections. That's what me and him were doing. And at the time, I didn't see it as a problem, but later on in my contract, I really seen that it was unhealthy. And if we were going to continue to be that way, it wasn't going to be much of a friendship. It was just going to be a cheap connection. Later on in life, if we left here, we'd probably be acquaintances and, maybe rob a bank or something like that. He wasn't someone I can call, and I wasn't someone that he can call to get each other out of the mud at 4 a.m. if we needed it. So during my contract, man, I really took some time to dig within myself and realize that being complacent is very dangerous. Being complacent in your program, being complacent with yourself, and being complacent with your brothers around you can really get you in some hard times. And sometimes those hard times are what you really need in order to, finally get what you came here to get. And as all of you know, we all came here to change our life in one way or another, whether that was to escape prison or if you were walking off the streets and you wanted something different. We all came here for the same thing. Ever since my contract, I like to say that I've had much more of a change than I have throughout my entire program. I just see things for what they really are now, man. I just realized that, you could either leave here better or you can leave here the same person you came here as. And how you leave is up to you. If you want to leave the same person you came here as, that's perfect. You just wasted 2 years of your life. You can go waste your life in jail or prison. People that are here that care about you, you don't have to waste their time, man. Like if you put forth the effort and energy that you did out there to get the next sack or to hit that next lick, like you could really mess around and actually save your life here if you put forth that energy that you did out there for all that. And it took me a while to understand that, and let's see. Talk about so I just remember my whole program, people would bring up a third year. I was like, no, not me. I'm not gonna do a third year. I'm out of here, I've got what I needed. I'm good. Well, after my senior retreat, you go through some things in there, man. You talk about a lot of things that you thought you would never talk about. You know, I had like a 10 or 14 page story, and I still didn't even put everything on that paper. But when I got in there, I just remember my older brother saying, man, this is for you. No one's going to judge you or anything like that. And I let it all out. If I would have wrote down everything that I came out with, it probably would have been 50 pages long. But I'll tell you what, after that day, man, that's when I really realized that I needed a third year. I realized I wasn't ready because all those emotions that I was feeling from that retreat, I don't know how I would have handled them outside of here. But because I had the older brothers there and the brothers that I did it with, Toppy and Jared, you know, the support to see that they were going through it as well. Like that's what honestly helped me through it, you know, and I decided I needed that third year because like I said, I wouldn't know how to deal with those feelings if I was outside of Red Barn and bringing those things up that I went through. And I just realized that I didn't want to be that guy anymore. I didn't want to be the guy that when I called my people, they would be like, oh, great. What's he want? What's he need? No, you can't stay on my couch. No, you can't use my car. No, I don't have $20. I was sick of being that guy. So I decided in my head that I'm going to do anything and everything that I can in order to not become that guy again. And in my life, in my personal choice, I needed that third year more than anything. So that was my biggest decision on staying a third year. And plus, you know, all the benefits that you can get from it. You can't, there's no way you can lose from staying a third year. If you honestly think about it, it's all beneficial. You know, you really get the most growth from your third year because most of us that are here sentenced, you know, your third year is optional. You know, nothing's over your head. So really all the growth you get is on you. You go to school, whatever you want, you know, it's super beneficial. And that's why I decided to stay. And because I knew within myself, I wasn't ready. No one knows me better than myself. And I just knew if I went out there, I had nothing to go do. I mean, I have a family and all that, but they know where I'm at. They know I'm good. I know where they're at. They're good. I don't have a job to run to. I don't have a career, anything like that. All I can do is just worry about me right now. And if that takes 5 years to do so, then that's what I'm going to decide to do 5 years of me. So I can be the best person that I need to be for whenever, you know, I get to become someone else's other half. And so I can be that right person for that person. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So that's kind of really all I got. Is there any questions?
Isaac. So for these younger guys, with you being the intern manager, like how did you make it through your intern phase? What was the biggest thing that kept you chugging along those first 90 days when it got hard?
So honestly, my intern phase, I just shut up and worked hard. I didn't talk a lot. That was I observed a lot, I listened a lot, and I worked hard a lot. That's how I made it through my intern phase. That's the best advice I can give you. I know we say it a lot here, just shut your mouth and work hard, but that's the truth, man. If you do that through your intern phase, like, and you learn from other people's games, that's another piece of advice I can give you is just when you're in games, engaging, giving feedback, and also watching other people's games as well. I've learned so much and I've avoided so many hours by watching some of my closest brothers' games. Oh, not doing that. Not going to do that. You know, like you don't have to get the hours to learn the lesson. You can get the game just like them, just by watching their game and learning. That's the best advice I can give. Know that.
Mark. So how much does it help you and how does it help you helping others?
Good question. So I've never been the one to really lend a hand out to help people, you know, and when I heard I was getting this intern manager position, I was like, nah, they wouldn't do that, man. I'm not the right guy. These guys would leave. And, you know, I fought the idea for a long time. And even as an intern manager, I still fought it. But now that I've been the intern manager for a little bit, man, I love to help people. I love it when these younger guys come up to me and they're going through something and their mind's all twisted up and they want some advice and I give it to them. And it fills my cup, honestly. It's something that I never thought I could provide to others. Now that I see that I can, and I can see that I can be a good influence, it's heart changing, man. That's another big reason why I stayed a third year, because I see that I could give more. Everything that was given to me, I can give back. Ethan.
So from being a tribe leader and then being stripped out of leadership and then working your way back up, that moment when you lost leadership, how did you bounce back from that? The narrative that you had to control inside of your mind to get those things back that you want.
So it wasn't easy. And at first it was like, you know what, you take leadership from me, you can have it. I don't want it. Screw you, Nicholas. Whatever, dude. But honestly, it hurt. getting it ripped right here in front of everyone on Sunday, where everyone's hearing breakfast, that hurt. And it took me a week or two to realize like I can gain this back. Zelly pulled me aside a couple times and said, "Man, everything that was taken from you, you can get back and even more." And at the time, I didn't believe him. But as I kept making it to my pillow every day and just making it through the workday, I started to see slowly but surely it was true. It could happen. You know, and I just put my head down and I just told myself that when I do get back to that position of being a leader again, I'm gonna make sure that I'm better than I was before. And I just worked hard and did what I had to do every single day until that happened.
Nicholas, what I got, man, is being an observer in the crowd, watching you fills my cup, man. It is so awesome to see the man that you become, coming from who you were before. You know, they say, Jake, if you want what I have, then do what I do. Man, I want what you got, man. I want that passion and that that love that you have for this place and for what and that you understand and see the value of what you bring to the students, what you bring to the table, and what Red Barn brings to you, man. It's impressive. Don't let off the gas, my man, and everyone take note. There it is, right there. That's what you can get if you stay here. If you do the next right thing, that's what you can get.
Thank you. Poppy.
What's the best advice you can give us? Your brother that are coming up on. And you getting close to graduate, what's the best advice that you giving for seeing staying a third year?
And so the best advice I can give you is, man, you may feel like you're ready and there might be things that you feel like you need to jump out there to, but anything that's really worthwhile will wait. Will be right there for you when you're done here. And they'll understand that one more year, if you need it, is what it's going to take. And it will make you the best person you can be to be there for that. And just know that really, what's another 9 months or another 12 months for the rest of your life? That's the best way it was told to me. And that's the best way I can explain it. Because when someone said that to me, it's like, it just clicked in my head. 9 more months for the rest of my life. That sounds a lot better. Because you leave in 2 years, you can be right back at the other place in a couple of weeks, 1 month. You're just one decision away from being right back there, right? Because like they said, you can get your misery refunded tenfold. And we all know when misery hits you, it hits you hard. You know, and a lot of us, unfortunately, 2 years or not, man, if it hits you and you run from it, you don't face it, you're going to end up right back there across the street or in Salt Lake or in Davis or Utah County, you know? It's all about figuring out what you really want and what you really need. If it's something you want, you really need it. And if it's something you need, you should probably do it so you can get what you want later. That's what I'm giving.
What phase do you like best? I mean, intern?
Fourth phase?
Yeah.
Senior resident, guaranteed. No, senior, I mean, there are some days that I wish I can just go back to a gray shirt just so I can go back to just, hey, go do this, you know, and instead of being the guy that has to task out or figure things out or be the leader. Sometimes I just want to be the guy that gets told what to do or, you know, but definitely senior resident phase is the best phase, you know, WAM events, you know, and these are all things that you guys get to look forward to. You get to go on a lot more events. Just the connection with your brothers is more real because you've been here so long with them. You know, Scott, Jeff, Frederick, Justin, Toppy, Matthew. I've grown up with all these guys. So like, I know these guys. I can walk in a room and if I'm down, they know they can come pick me up like that because they've been in this program with me for 17, 18, 19 months, man. So that's another big reason why the senior resident phase is so big, man, because the people that you are closest to know you and they can pick you up when they see that you're down.
So
What traits or like values did you gain while being in leadership?
I've gained integrity, you could say that. I've gained honesty. I've gained great leadership skills, I feel like. And I feel like I've learned to have a better balance. Whereas before I was just kind of really raw. And this last time in in leadership, I feel like I've kind of learned it to reel it back a little bit because not everyone listens on that same frequency that I always come off like, if that makes sense. I don't know.
So, you said that you've had several paradigm shifts, some more recent, more significant. Can you explain like what it meant to you to have come where you come from to be able to realize those things moving forward?
To realize my paradigm shifts, what it meant to me. So coming where I came from, man, I didn't really have a lot to look up to. I didn't know what was, obviously I knew what was wrong and what was bad, but I don't know how to explain it, but to see the change within myself, to see the man that I never thought I could become, it feels great. And to be around a bunch of men that are also doing it as well, also feels great. You know, my biggest paradigm shift was 4 months into the program, being part of that moving company. As soon as I got out there, I knew I wanted that black shirt and I was going to do anything to get it. And I eventually did. The same day I got my blue shirt, I got my black shirt. And that was part of my biggest paradigm shift because that's like when I bought into the program. I seen that we were changing lives and saving our lives at the same time. You know, getting out there and moving people's furniture, and then them hearing your story, you know, and they find out that we're convicted felons and we're drug addicts, and they just let us into their multi-million-dollar home. And we moved all their stuff without anything damaged. And if anything was damaged, we let them know. You know, I remember one move, I believe Neil was there and Sean M. We're telling them our story in the middle at the end of this move. And the lady looks right at me and she goes, you know what? If I would have known this before, I would never hired you guys. Because we told her, hey, we're drug addicts, we're felons, you know, but we're doing something different. And she straight up told us, if I would have known that before, I would have never hired you. But now that I did hire you, I love you guys. They showed up to our 5K. They came up to each one of us and said hi. They remembered us, each of our names. It's awesome, man. And that, like, to get that on moves, you know, and then just hear about the 5-star reviews, dude, like it filled my cup to be part of something bigger than myself for the first time in my life, honestly. Max.
After you had that like shift in, like, oh, this is what I want to put my effort into, getting a black shirt, being like a really good mover, did you have trouble applying that same like so to you being back to the farm and all other aspects of the program?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the hustle on the moves is a lot different than the hustle on the farm. At the farm, you got to slow down a lot. The grind is different on the farm. I find myself more tired, getting tired, more tired working on the farm than doing the moves. It's just a slower grind. It's a different kind of grind. It's more of a program grind rather than a work grind, if that makes sense. Like, my day mostly consists of is like helping you guys out, man. You know what I mean? Empowering you guys to figure it out and watching you guys do it. You know, and getting in when I need to, and then steering you guys back on the course when you come off. So it's a different kind of work, man. I can't say that I like one more than the other. If I were to choose, I would go to moves, but I would take my interns with me. Lewis.
So most, from going from the moves to the birds, and, you know, movers seeing that the bird is kind of like a place where they sentence people for, you know, bad behaviors, something like that. Did you take it like that? And if you did, how'd you get through it?
So honestly, at first, you know, as soon as I got my contract, I knew what was coming after. Oh, I'm going to the bird. I knew it. But I can't remember what staff member it was, but I want to say it was Shane, and he kind of told me that there's this stigma that whenever you get in trouble or you get hurt, the bird is where you go, and they want to change that. And I was all for it. You know, I went to the bird open-minded and happy to do it because I knew that I did that to myself, and what I do from here on is up to me. So I decided to go there and tackle it head on, and happy to do it. And honestly, it wasn't what everyone makes it out to be. Like, everything that I heard about the bird before that was nothing compared to what it was. It was fun. Yeah, it's a lot slower there. You know, it's a lot slower than the moves. It wasn't something I was used to. Man, but just the connection there. Like, I thought the connection was real on the moves, but the connection at the bird, like, that's really all you have to do there is connect. When it's not busy, you get to connect with your brothers. Like, I think before the bird, I said maybe, 100 words to Lewis. And then at the bird, we connected every single day. I got to connect with Ruben. You know, I got to connect with Roberto. Things like that. Joseph. Is Joseph here? James. You know, the connection with brothers that I never had before. David. It was just really great to get other brothers in my circle. You know, they told me my entire program that I needed widen my horizon and spread my wings, and I never did until I went to the Bird. And then I found myself sitting at different tables with different people talking to them because I felt comfortable with them now. And all I had to do was spread my wings, and that's exactly what I did at the Bird. I just dived in head first. David.
You just said it right there. You said that you're always getting told to spread your wings and fly. So from my perspective, you're only connecting with a small majority of people. And I was just wondering if that was because of arrogance, shyness, fear, what? And when you became an interim manager, did that help connect with all house? If what I'm saying is true.
So I just decided to connect with the people that I connected with because those were the people I was closest with in the program. They were the brothers I grew up with in the program. We had the same interests, and for a little bit before, probably because we were contracted up, honestly. And that's just the truth, you know. And the Bird is what made it easier to connect with other people because I got outside of myself. I got outside of that circle, and then obviously being an interim manager definitely really helped to connect with the younger guys. You know, because I was always the guy that didn't really connect with the younger guys. I just connected with the brothers that I was in the program with. And then as the older guys got older and they came out on moves, that's when I would decide to connect with them, you know, because they were out there and they were on my crew. And that's when I got to teach them what I loved. But now that I'm the intern manager, I get to teach them about the program, you know, and what better way to connect than teaching them the Red Bond gospel. Shane.
Like so many of us, you know, we get here broken, we get here with all this fake confidence, this fake everything really. That's not on you anymore. Yeah, I don't see that anymore. It's gone. It's not there. When did you start believing in yourself? What did that look like for you?
That's a good question. I honestly started believing in myself the second time I came into leadership. When I seen that I can do hard things, when I seen that I can no longer go through this program with the mask on. I either can be myself and become the man I want to be, or make it as hard as it can be. That's just when I really just decided to shred my mask and just be the same person in every room. Leandro.
So you said that the choice to go another year was because you weren't prepared. So are you working on, you know, being prepared? Are you working on your plan after?
So I have goals. I just take them day by day. If it were up to me, I'm not going to leave Red Barn even after my third year, if it's possible. You know, I have goals they're kind of far-fetched right now. We'll see how close I am to those after my third year, but I don't know if I'll be ready after the third year. Honestly, I've lived my life in a black cloud for so long that I don't really know how to live not that way. The only way I've done it is in here and in the other place. And in the other place, as you know, it's not, you can do the same stuff you do on the streets in there. So this is really my first reality of life without drugs, without crime, and just me being me. And I like who I am. And like I said, if I could stay longer than a third year, that's going to be my plan. That's my goal. James.
Jake, would you say that like you started to find more purpose in things and that's when you realized you could excel at whatever it is you put your mind to?
I guess you can say that, yeah. That I just realized that whatever I did, I was going to do to the best of my ability, whether it was at Sticky Bird or on the moves or as intern manager. However I could, whatever it was that I had to do to make it leave that job 110% better than it was before. That's what I was going to do. I was going to wake up and do that every single day. And that was my purpose for every job and every task that I've always had. Jean.
So you said that you grew up, you know, not eating at the dinner table, not around your family, you know, so I can only imagine as a kid wondering what it felt like to be in a loving home, you know, and if this is what it feels like for you, is this what you hoped it all to be? You know what I mean? Like, is being a kid that hasn't grown up in a loving and in a bad environment, is this what we do here at Red Barn? Is this kind of what you imagine like a loving family would look like?
So all I know from family things is just from stories. Like, for instance, like when we did mindfulness in Janie's class, all you guys telling your Christmas traditions and all that, like, I don't know anything about that. Alls I know about a family dinner and all that is what we do here every night. That's the family dinner I've had. Christmas, the way we have it here, I've never had a Christmas like that until I got here. But really, that's what a family outing is to me. You know, like that's all I know about really family stuff. My family wasn't a regular family. So like, this is my family. You guys are my brothers. You know what I mean? Like this is what a family does right here. Eat dinner, eat breakfast, eat lunch. That's as far as I know is what families do is because of here. William.
I just want to check back on, you said when you started believing in yourself, second time you came into leadership, you stripped away that mask. I mean, I just want to touch a little bit on, you mean by using the process, holding people accountable or just.
So before I wasn't the same person in every room until I shedded that mask and I'm gonna be this person in this room, whether Shane's in here or not. You know, if John walks in this room, I'm gonna be the same person I was even when he wasn't in here. And I learned that my second time into leadership. So that's really what I meant by taking the mask off. It's just being comfortable with who I am in every room, no matter who's in there. Any other questions?
I just want to say real quick, that was it was inspiring. It was passionate. It was honest and very motivating. You know, I feel every question that you got asked, you answered it, you know, to a T and specific, you know, and great answers, man, you know, very helpful information. And I feel like it's important to be able to tell these stories, you know, to be able to relate and have similarities, you know, to remind some of us, a lot of us, that we're not alone in this journey, man. And I'm very anxious and excited for you, man, to see your success, you know, and see how far you get here. Thank you. Thank you. Can we get another round of applause? This next brother, while I've been here, I've seen him go through some trials and tribulations. I've seen him go through some struggles. And the feedback he's got has been some hard feedback, and he's applied it. You know, he's bounced back from it, and today he's also doing the third year, and it's good to work with him, and he's helpful when asked something. And he's Jared. Give him a round of applause.
Awesome. I think it's the first time I've ever spoke where I can actually hear myself and hopefully be able to be heard tonight. Let's see. My name is Jared Lane Jensen. I was born and raised in Utah, grew up in Salt Lake. Moved around a lot when I was a kid. Grew up in a single parent family where it was just me and my mom for first couple years, and then she got married in '83 to my stepdad, and that's when I was a part of a family. I had my sister, had my brother, I had my dad, and I had my mom. Me and my brother, we got along for the most part, but there was times where we fought a lot too, you know what I mean, and what brothers don't sometimes, you know. And my sister was ultimately my best friend. She's seen me through my worst. She's seen me through some of my best times. Let's see, kind of fast forward a little bit. So I went to, tell you a little bit about elementary. So I went to elementary in West Valley and Kearns. Spent a lot of time with my family in that area. And then we would get together and go to family outings to my grandparents' house for holidays and other stuff like that. It ended up graduating high school. That was probably one of my best accomplishments right there, was graduating high school. I actually got to graduate with my class. It was awesome. That was the time where I got to focus on just myself, you know. And I was in a foster home, of course. I was taken away from my mom and put in foster care for the last 2.5 years. But it was a time that I needed, you know. wasn't sure what I wanted to do after high school, so I spent a lot of the time being the guy on the couch at my aunt's house. So I did that for a while, was the guy on the couch, finally got a job, was in and out of work. Was just a wreck, you know. I was old behaviors, you know. Didn't really want to do anything with my life until I found Job Corps. Did that for 2 years and then went back to just being a wreck. In and out of jail. And then finally caught my first felony and ended up in and out of jail again, homeless. Being homeless sucked. I didn't like it. And then wound up in jail, my last stint, and got to talking to my LDA, and she goes, I think you need to look into a program. I think it'd be beneficial to you. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know which one I want to do. And there was out of three of them, there was Red Barn, there was the Other Side Academy, and First Step and Odyssey House. And her secretary said that she would write some letters, and out of all of them, Red Barn was the only one that responded. Got an interview with Nicholas. That was a pretty good interview. He asked what I wanted to do, and I told him I wanted to reinvent myself. I didn't want to keep being the guy that I was being. He asked a little bit about what my family, and I said, yes, I have some family. And I want to get back to him. And so this is coming to Red Barn has been the greatest decision I ever made in life. I've got the most time clean since probably being 13 years old. Let's see, what else am I leaving out? So here at Red Barn, you guys have seen it, you know, I've had the brakes beat off of me in games, but there's something within myself that says, you know what, you can bounce back from this. If you can do this, you can do anything. And there's a certain drive that I have. I don't know I still haven't figured out what it is, but the most simplest advice that was given to me was just make it to your pillow. Make it to your pillow, Jared, you know. Take what you can out of today and you know, just try to keep being that better version of myself every day. My biggest influence here at Red Barn has probably been, or the one that I look up to the most here at Red Barn is probably Nicholas. Hoppy's another guy that I look up to. Frederick, you're another one that I look up to, you know. You guys have helped me through a lot, you know. I know that I don't have to hold on to anything and that you guys will help me through anything. Corey G's another influence in my life here at Red Barn. Shane, you've been another one. You know, I want you guys to know that I love each and every single one of you in this room. Wow, I feel so nervous right now, but it's okay. Like, it's crazy. I know it is. Let's see. There's a few of you in this room that have seen me go through each phase, not once, but twice, you know. Like it's crazy. My first intern phase, all I wanted to do was just put my head down and work. I really didn't want to talk to anybody when I first got here. And I remember having a conversation with Isaac, and Isaac said, you know what, man, like I'm pretty much not gonna go away, you know. I see something in you, and he has pushed me until I started to see it for myself. That's been awesome to be able to work with Isaac every day, you know, and it's been awesome to see him up in the gym every morning. Every morning that I wake up, I know he's gonna be right there pushing me. Let's see, and then there was I remember my first redshirt phase. That was when I was so excited to get it, you know. I went around the room and high-fived everybody in the circle. I was like big energy right there. And then ended up getting advanced on Christmas Eve of last year. I didn't know how to kind of take that. So I kind of like, you know, I let my foot off the gas. I don't know why, but kind of, you know, and then had a little falling out and then landed in my contract phase. I learned a lot on contract. I gained a lot of weight on contract too. It was crazy. And it got to the points where I had to be put on portion control because I found myself eating too much at lunch and falling asleep when I should have been awake, you know, and I'll never forget a time where I was outside working and Colton comes out and he goes, "What are you doing, Jared?" I was sitting there watching this hawk fly around when I should have been working, you know. But I learned a lot on contract though. I learned that just that I can do hard things. You know, this program has taught me how to do very, very, very hard things. It's taught me how to act as if until it becomes a habit. It's taught me that when my act as if is broken, you guys are all going to let me know, you know? And I love that about this place. I wanted that structure. I needed it, you know, and I get it every day I'm here. You younger brothers, you know, it wasn't that far off when I was in a gray shirt for the second time. And that taught me that I have a voice and I need to use it. And a closed mouth is never going to get fed. And you know, we have to teach each other. We have to help each other out every day. You know, when we don't want to communicate, we need to communicate. You know, how are we going to get anywhere if we don't communicate? Is another big theme that I've learned here. What made me decide to stay a third year was I want to stay a third year so I can help these younger brothers. I can help you guys see what, you know, see the magic in this place. There's a lot of magic that happens here, and I wouldn't be who I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be who I am today if I would have never, you know what I mean? If I never would have wrote that letter. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I communicated and you know, kind of did some soul searching, and I found what I want to do, you know. Part of my plan in my third year is to go to school. I want to get a degree in doing social work and continue to work in the recovery field. Feel like I can help people, you know. I want to get there. I want to be able to get there. I want to work in that field, and just stay healthy, you know. I want to stay healthy. I want to be healthy and fit. I like running on the treadmill. Treadmill is great. Like when I run on that treadmill, I feel so happy. And that's what it's about, you know, working and just being happy. Mindfulness has also helped out with that a lot, you know. I love that class. And yeah, let's open it up for questions, guys.
Could you tell us a little bit about the Job Corps and what did you do there?
So Job Corps, let's see. What I did there was we did a little life skills training class. It was mainly you like went there for a trade. The trade I took was carpentry. I tried out when I first got there, I tried 3 different trades, and carpentry ended up being the trade that I picked. It was either that or culinary or welding. Out of 3, carpentry was the best fit for me. Did that for 2.5 years. And it's a lot kind of like here, but a little different. You know what I mean? We didn't have accountability group. They did help you get your high school diploma if you didn't have one. Me, I had one. And then another thing that they do is they'll help you get into the military if that's another thing that you're interested in. You can also do fire crew and earn more money on top of what you make there, which is only about $45 a week, but so yep.
So there was a time, man, like out on the moves or even here at the farm, where like you told us, I can't do it, I can't lift it, man. Like, talk to these younger guys about finding that other gear or finding that drive to like pick up heavy stuff or do hard things, man. Because like if you look at the definition of being able to do hard things, man, like your face is under the definition, man. So explain to these guys how you find that other gear, man.
Just watching all of my older brothers, you know what I mean? I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, I know I can, you know. It's just it's a mindset, right? You tell yourself you can't do it, you're not gonna do it. You know, you're gonna sit there and find every way out of it. It wasn't until I was on a move with Frederick and Frederick kind of helped me get out of that. You know, he said, "You're not gonna tell yourself you can't. I know you can." And you know what I mean? He pushed me until I could, and then I started seeing it, and I was like, you know what, I can. Another thing that has helped out with that is just believing in myself, you know, just finding that belief and going, you know what, Jared, you can. You can do anything, you know, and I can. The gym has helped out with a lot of that too. Like today, I found myself picking up a couch, and I went, wow, couches are actually starting to get lighter now, you know, it's great. But like, don't ever for the younger guys, don't ever tell yourself you can't. You can, you know, you can. Okay. I want you guys to know that you guys do hard things every day of the week. You know what I mean? You may not want to, you know, because your feet hurt. Don't tell yourself your feet hurt. You know, you're only gonna be on your feet be on your feet longer. You know what I mean? But eventually, that pain goes away. The more you do something, the better off you're gonna, you know, better off you're gonna feel. It's all about technique too. Don't ever lift with your back, lift with your legs. So, copy.
Well, I do this every day, and it's beautiful for I hear why it's so important for yourself and to let others know why you give yourself positive affirmations.
So I give myself positive affirmations because it helps with my overall attitude. It helps me to have a better day. It helps me to stay positive. And when I find myself drifting off back into that negativity, tell yourself something positive. Say, I can, I will, you know, or we're all worth it. You know what I mean? We all are worth it. We're worth it, you know? But yeah, positive affirmations is important, guys. You know, I went through a phase where I was writing them down every day. Every day I'd write 4 or 5 different positives and then my gratefuls. Ethan.
So for months and months and months and months, we were always telling you, Jared, say it with your chest. Jared, use your voice. And then last night I heard you give that feedback and you were the one saying it with your chest. So how did you find your voice?
I knew I was gonna have to use it one day. I just, you know, this place does this to you. You know what I mean? You can sit there and tell yourself, "Oh, I'm gonna go the whole day without talking." No, you can't. You have to say something. See something, say something. You know, and also trick yourself into going, "Okay, I've got something I can tell this person." You know, so like just yeah, you know, you just have that. There's that mindset. You know, and again, I'm going back to that mindset thing again. You know, it's all about mindset. Dustin.
Jared, what's your favorite memory you made here at Red Barn?
I've got a lot of it. I have so many. Um, what's my favorite moment? Oh my goodness. I miss that chicken suit. I really do. One of my most memorable moments was it was a morning meeting. They put me in the chicken suit and I came out. I'm a chicken, not a duck. And they put me in the fryer. That was probably one of my most favorites right there. Mark?
What is that part that you found in you, like deep inside that has always pulled you up by your bootstraps to say, no matter how hard it is or to get through everything, what's that one strength you've got that you always find?
I have to say part of it is knowing that I have a higher power within myself. You know, I have a higher power that I know is real. And I kind of started reaching out to him a little bit, you know, trying to find that one that stands within every day. And the only way I'm going to find it is by persevering, saying, I'm not going to let this defeat me today, you know, and actually applying the feedback that I get too. Trevor.
Hey, man, so, since I've been here, I basically watched you go through this program all over again, right? So I'm just curious, man, like, throughout everything that you've been through, what part of this program has been the hardest for you and what part has been the most beneficial? Which one have you taken the most from?
Most beneficial is probably my contract and what I learned, what I was able to, learn from it and gain from it. Accepting it, accepting the fact that I am the problem and doing everything that I can to change that. William.
There are. I just wanted to touch on the reason why, did it stay the same throughout every phase of this program, or did you really want to change ever?
What was that again?
Reason why, like the reason why you stay, the reason why you're here, I was just wondering if it stayed the same all the way through the program, or if it ever changed.
Couple times my why has changed, but ultimately my why is my niece, my nephews. That is one of the biggest reasons why I'm here and why I don't want to leave. It's because I want to be able to. Eventually I want to be. Eventually I want to be that uncle that can be there for them. That's there, and another why is my son. Yeah, Angela.
So Jared, I know there's times that you've been stuck in your head, like a lot of times, What's the best advice you could give us to help us stay out of our heads when we're in a bad or negative mood?
Find that go-to that you can talk to. You know what I mean? Always find an older brother that you can talk to that'll help pull you out of that. And another one is to be of service. Find something that you can find a way to connect on a positive level with somebody, and that will always pull you out of it, I think.
David, explain to me, how and what are you gonna give back for what you has been given to you?
I want to be able to teach. I want to be able to, eventually get to a point in my program where I can start to give advice, or be a mentorship. Okay.
Just kind of goes along with a little bit of what Ethan's question. I noticed your feedback is nothing like the feedback you give now in games. When you give feedback in games now, like you're about it. You know what I mean? You stand up for something and you demand that the house stands up for something. Why did that change? What happened? What was that paradigm shift?
Just knew that I had to do it, in order. I got tired of being that guy, I know that the only way I'm going to get through this program is if I engage. And the only way to engage is to just get in there and get it done. Don't sit and think about it all day long. Just say what's on, just think. I've had plenty of time to think about it. Now I just got to do it. It's all about doing it. Max.
So since I've been here, I haven't really seen you, go through your restart or your contract or anything like that for something that's consistent with you, because you're happy to do it. And sometimes you get tasks that, other people at your level don't always get. And I see you move around more than anything else you're comfortable as well, like going to Stickenburg, going to Drift, going on a move. You really, and then being on the farm and doing every certain task on the farm, you're like the most juggled around person here. How do you stay happy to do it and consistent?
So there was a couple. Just it's so I know that there's things on the farm that need to be done, and the only way to do it is with a good attitude. Let's see what else. I love the fact that they bounce me around a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it keeps me out of my comfort zone. It gets me like, I don't know, and the brotherhood that I get from it too, and seeing customers' faces on different enterprises that I've been on is awesome too. Dijon.
You've worked at all the enterprises, except, have you worked for Fort Lee or? Um,
The only thing I've done over there is gone over there.
oh, okay. Yeah, that counts. So which enterprise is your favorite enterprise to work for and why?
That's a tough one. Thank you, Dejan. I knew that was gonna come out. I like the moves because of the physical work that you get out of it. You get to tell your story, and then seeing the expression on the customers' faces when we are done with that move is awesome. The connection that we get with the customers is awesome. Thrift, because of the interaction that I get with everybody there, not just, you know, the guys from the academy, but from the customer side as well. You know what I mean? It's amazing the things that we do on each enterprise. I love Sticky Bird because of the camaraderie over there, I guess you could say, and the interaction with the customers over there has been pretty amazing too. There's some things that we need to work on over there to bring that environment up over at Sticky Bird, but I feel that we can overcome that and that we will one day. Brandon.
Yeah, Jared, you talked a little bit about getting the brake speed off you, gains and stuff quite a bit, and it was also said your bounce back has been good recently. What was it like in the younger part of your program, and how did that change, and what did you do to change your bounce back?
It was tough in the younger part of the younger part of my program. It was pretty tough, you know, but just making it to my pillow and then waking up the next day and trying to be that better person that I was than the day before it's just been night and day. You know what I mean? The change that I see in myself is every day, you know? So
Thanks, Jared.
thank you, brother. Thank you, brothers.
So I just want to say your story, man, it's really respectful, genuine, and confident, man. You know, I since I've been here, you know, I seen you go through some stuff, you know, and it's your bounce back for me, man. You know, like seeing you go from a black shirt back to an intern, and now today, man, like you're just happy. You know, your genuine smile, you know, it glows up the whole room, you know, and I like working with you when you have that attitude, man, and I'm sure everybody does, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, man, and I can't wait to see you complete your goal, man, of wanting to mentor others. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberto.
And that's task.